Can you do a video on long half-life isomers compared with short half-life isomers? For example, iridium 192M2 versus iridium 192. That's a great question, but first let me define what these isomers are. Isomers are basically radioactive isotopes that are in excited states. So iridium, that's a great example. It's something that we use for industrial radiography, and there are different metastable versions of that nucleus such that each metastable state has a different half-life. And what is a metastable state? It's kind of similar, and you can make an analogy to what happens with fluorescence. With fluorescence, with the electrons in an atom, you excite one to a higher energy level, and when it falls back down, it gives off light. And it can do that spontaneously. Whereas if I have phosphorescence, I can put an electron into an excited state, and it takes a little while for that electron to fall back down. And that's where we get things that are glow in the dark. They're phosphorescent. And you have similar kind of physics in the nucleus. So in the same way that depending on what all of the conservation laws that an excited state has to go through in order to get to a lower state, that can slow down the process. It makes it less likely because you got to conserve parity, you've got to conserve angular momentum, linear momentum, you've got to conserve energy, you've got to meet all of these criteria for these different orbitals, which have different angular momentum in these different orbitals and so forth. And so that can be a limitation in how fast an excited state will go down to a ground state. And you can have multiple states that are there, multiple metastable states. And iridium is a great example. You got one that's got a really long half-life, one that's got a really short half-life. But my favorite metastable isotope is that of technetium. And the reason why is technetium, if you look at the chart of the elements, this is the chart of the elements right here, and you look at technetium, oops, sorry about that, if you start to see that, in the middle of the chart of the nuclides, a technetium right there. That technetium is red, meaning that it's radioactive, even though it's right there in the middle of the chart of the nuclides. And the reason why is because it's got a half-life that's in millions of years. And if you have an isotope that's got millions of years and you put it in dirt that's billions of years, it's gone through, oh my goodness, thousands of half-lives. And so it basically doesn't exist anymore. Technetium is not naturally occurring because it's got such a short half-life. Even though it's millions of years, it's got a short half-life. But why is that interesting? The metastable state that we get from decaying molybdenum-99, when molybdenum-99 decays into technetium, it decays preferentially into a metastable state that has about an 8-hour half-life. And that is the powerhouse for nuclear medicine. So the molybdenum-99 that's created by fissioning uranium-235 is one of the main sources of medical isotopes for nuclear medicine. And it's just that the nucleus, one of the nucleons, is excited into a higher energy state, and there are some conservation laws that prevent it from spontaneously coming back down. And so it's trying all the time. It's a low probability that it will meet all the criteria all at once and be able to come down and fall down into the lower ground state. And so that's all a metastable state is that I've got one of these orbiting nucleons in the nucleus that was excited to an excited state, and it's having a hard time falling back down to the ground state to give off the radiation. And so I hope that explains what the metastable state is of a nucleus. And great question. Thanks for asking it. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you have a good day. Bye.